believe in anything I say. No, don't go believing me. No, don't listen to me, don't take any notice. Don't listen to anything that I say. Thank you.
Where's the parade? Where are they all? It's something I did. That's more like it.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. This has been a big day and an emotional day for millions of families up and down the country.
Do you know what? Do you know your biggest problem? Will always be the downfall of your career. You're full of fucking shit.
As children see and play with their friends at school for the first time in months. And although I know that some will have been anxious, as pupils always are, on the first day of term, I also know that the overwhelming feeling is one of relief. And we all know that the education of our children is so important that the greater risk now is keeping them out of school for a day longer.
Not back in the school 5 minutes and you're spewing out your poison.
I want to thank all the teachers who've got their schools ready and who've been teaching throughout the whole period, whether that's remotely or in person. Your work has been astonishing. And I want to thank the parents and all those who've been teaching at home, who've had to master Zoom, who've had to communicate every detail of the syllabus, from fronted adverbials to quadratic equations. And we all know that the burden has disproportionately fallen on women, often holding down jobs and providing childcare at the same time.
Just that one in particular, is it?
So our job now as government is...
The government is known as the executive.
To build on your efforts so that from now on our school children not only catch up on lost learning, but take the biggest possible step forwards with a concerted national programme.
Tank, load the jump program.
For educational recovery.
Oh look, Frost.
It's thanks to all of you, parents, teachers, pupils, thanks to this huge national effort to keep kids at home, that we have been able significantly to reduce the spread of the virus.
And it's continuing because you all went out Christmas shopping 2 weeks before the peak. And then all the numbers started falling dramatically. I wonder why that might be.
Zoom in there. You can see the 7-day average peak is on the 1st of January, but the actual peak was 29th of December.
It's slowing because you're all staying at home and you're not intermingling. You're not spreading your immunity around in the herd.
And so today we've been able to take that crucial first step on what we hope is our cautious but irreversible roadmap to freedom.
Into your heart, tears you apart from the start. Freedom, right to your soul, taking all till it goes.
Today allowing people to meet one-on-one outside for the first time in months. Allowing care home visits to take place with all appropriate precautions.
Daddy's in the bathroom? Mom's up there taking a bath. Well, maybe he won't notice.
And this first step on the roadmap is made possible above all by our NHS, which has now vaccinated more than 1/3 of the entire UK population. We take this step with confidence because all 4 of the most vulnerable groups have not only been vaccinated in overwhelming numbers, but it's now 3 weeks since or at least 3 weeks since they've received their first dose.
Now, do you remember what they said about getting a vaccine and the immunity? It only kicks in after 2 weeks. So, if the numbers were falling since December, that means this vaccine has got fuck all to do with the numbers falling.
So that they'll be feeling the full benefits of the vaccine's protection.
Patrick, you may want to add to that.
Well, the only thing to add is the more you vaccinate, the more you put evolutionary pressure on the virus. So it's true that as you get up to very high levels of vaccination, that the virus is then struggling to find out what to do, and that eventually will become an issue. And the virus probably will mutate at that point, and that means that different vaccines will be needed in due course.
We will continue on this roadmap.
Okay, do I need to have a vaccine passport in order to go to the pub?
No.
Will I need to?
No.
No, actually, quite the opposite. The reason that the Prime Minister has asked Michael Gove to look at this, because...
But we must remember...
In case you haven't noticed, we're in the lying business.
Are we?
But we must remember...
You have the luxury of not knowing what I know.
...that today's return to schools will, of course, have an impact on the spread of the virus.
Do children get COVID-19? Yes. Do children get ill with COVID-19? Very rarely indeed. Do children transmit COVID-19? Yes, but it is predominantly a signal. The more adult-like they become, the greater propensity for them to transmit to others.
And so, at all times, and as we decide on the next steps forward and when we take them, we will be driven by the data.
You can't handle the truth!
And with the number of patients being admitted to hospital with COVID each day...
Well, I turned my head and I walked away, and I tried to forget what he had to say, and I chalked it up as another day. I died a little today.
Still around 8 times higher than the lows of last summer.
We love everybody, but we do as we please. When the weather's fine, we go fishing or go sailing in the sea.
It's more vital than ever to follow the rules. Hands, face, space. And please continue to stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives. Thank you very much. I'm now going to hand over to Jenny to do the slides.
This shows the number of people testing positive, both by PCR and LFD test for COVID-19 level. This is a level at which a new wave could easily take off again from. So this slide shows the number of people in hospital with COVID-19. And the third slide we have here shows the number of deaths, sadly, of people who had a positive test result and then died within 28 days of that first test. And what we have here is a number of people who've received a vaccination for COVID-19, but we still need to watch and wait to see what's happening. So again, the strong message is
contemplating God under the chemtrails over the country club.
Thanks very much, Jenny. Let's go to Phoebe from Leeds.
I've been hearing a lot about vaccine passports to allow British tourists to travel again, but I'm just wondering how this is going to work for under 16s. I can imagine this is a question on a lot of people's minds, and we're all just so eager to start booking our holidays again.
Yeah. Vaccine passports are like any other form of ID. It's all legal fiction. Plain and simple. It's fantasy.
Phoebe, a really excellent question about vaccine passports and how they'd work for under 16s.
So let's see how Boris squirms his way out of this one, shall we?
We're looking at the way these types of vaccination certificates might work. They do raise all sorts of issues.
The intention is to exclude Jews from German cultural and economic life. In September 1935, the eugenics program is extended to biologically isolate the Jewish people.
For those who, like under 16-year-olds who might not have had a vaccination for one reason or another, those who aren't medically able to get a vaccination.
It must see to it that there is only one disgrace: to bring children into the world despite one's own sickness and deficiencies.
For instance, there are some complexities. We're looking at what they're thinking of in other countries, and we'll be making sure we report back to you to everybody as soon as we possibly can. As you may know, work is being done by Michael Gove, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster.
They know exactly how to roll it out. They know exactly how to put it into place. They know how to put it into practice. They know how to use it and abuse it. They had Hitler do it in the Second World fucking War. It's about time you learned some fucking history.
On that whole issue, it's a novel one for our country. Fuck off! We've never had this type of question before within the domestic UK economy.
The German scientific and medical world had wholeheartedly embraced a new movement, the science of eugenics. The founder of eugenics is an Englishman, Sir Francis Galton, the cousin of Charles Darwin.
Within our own home market, though clearly vaccine passports as an idea are not new.
What does that mean?
When it comes to international travel, there have been certificates for things like yellow fever and other diseases in the past, and I'm sure that will be a feature of our life in the future.
What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything.
Here, the state must act as guardian of a millennial future, in the face of which the wishes and selfishness of the individual appear as nothing.
So I'm considerably more optimistic about all that than perhaps the tone of your question suggests that you are at the moment. But I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised as common sense begins to prevail.
Now I bet that's given you something to think about, hasn't it? Started thinking yet?
I know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
What's all this division for? It's modern segregation. This is setting up a civil war.
Thank you all very, very much, and see you next time. Thank you.